This is a Patterson Grant thin blue line American flag blank. I purchased this at the Midwest Ohio Valley Pen Turners Gathering. And on the back of the blank, it is inscribed with "All gave some gave all." Really happy with how this blank looks. I had a little bit of trouble. I was going so lightly with my cuts and I just wasn't getting it smooth and flat all the way across. So I took a lot of extra cuts there at the end, just really light finishing cuts so that I could make sure this was as smooth as possible. I just love how micro mesh alone will really shine that blank up. And once we buff it, it'll just sparkle. It's going to be beautiful. I've got all of my parts to my bolt action pen laying out on the table. And the first thing I like to do is when these bolt action pins ship, you'll notice the bolt points up. It doesn't look very natural. A rifle, the bolt normally points down. So there is a screw inside of here. It just uses a small Phillips screwdriver. You can twist it maybe 1.5 turns, not too far. You don't want to remove it. Just twist it enough to loosen it, and it will allow you to rotate the bolt to a more natural position. And then you can snug that little screw back up. Now once you do that, now the clip is in the way of the bolt. But if you twist the back, the primer, you can rotate your clip. You don't want to take it all the way off. You can, but there's no sense in it. You can rotate the clip around. There we go. And there's a little notch on the opposite side. There's a notch on each side of the blind, or the cap. And I'll show you on this side. You see the little notch right there? There's one just like it on the opposite side, so you can lock your clip into the opposite side. Now your bolt is more rifle-like. And the clip is up when you lay it down, so it's a much more natural looking, the pin is much more natural looking with the bolt and the clip in that position. Let's go ahead and start by pressing the nib into the front of the blank. Just want to make sure it goes in nice and straight. Okay, we're going to stop a little shy because you can see some of the plating. See in there that little bit of plating that's sort of pressing up or pushing up in there? I'm going to grab a razor blade. That does happen from time to time. You want to watch that. And I just stick a razor blade in there and I just kind of scrape it. It's actually, I don't know if it's so much the plating as it is kind of a coating that they put on it. And you can kind of, don't scratch your blank, be very careful, but put that in there and just sort of rotate the blank and you'll see that coming out. It's like some kind of a plastic coating. Okay, and when you've removed all of it, then you can go ahead and finish pressing your blank together. The first couple of times I did these pins, I did not pay attention to that. And what happened to me is that smashed down so far and it showed along the bottom of the blank, which really made for an unsightly blank. We're ready to press the back half in. Now, I'm trying to decide, do you want this to lay with the blue line showing, or do you want it to lay with the all gave some gave all? I'm thinking I really want the blue line to be showing at the bottom of the pin, just a little bit like that, and I want the flag showing on top. So this is the orientation I want to use. And really, that's just a personal preference. That just, to me, looked good, so it's what I'm going to go with. All right, make sure we line it up nice and straight. Press that in. I'm going to take a peek at that and see if there's any of that. Yep, a little bit of that waxy buildup. I think what that is, it's whatever they spray on the blank to keep the blank, or I'm sorry, the metal, to keep the metal from tarnishing. I think it's just like an outer coating. And we're just going to work that off of there, being very careful not to damage the blank or the cap or to cut our finger. We don't want to do that either. Every once in a while you get that. It's always good to watch closely when you put them together. All right, we're ready to finish pressing. Once the blank or the kit is totally pressed together, you can remove the nib. Grab our ink refill, we'll drop it in. Slide our spring onto the refill. Thread the nib back on. And we have got one beautiful looking ink pen. I'd like to thank you for joining me in the shop tonight for the turning of this thin blue line bolt action pen. Give you one last look at the pen. We've got the American flag in black and white. Right below the stars, we've got a thin blue line that goes across the flag. And then on the opposite side of the blank, it has the inscription, all gave some gave all. The pen turned out absolutely beautiful. I love the blank. It's a gorgeous pen, and this would be a keepsake that anyone would enjoy having. I want to thank you for joining me. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon, and have a great evening.